It's Killshot 99 Game. This is Dead City episode number 2 live. We're going to do a live chat, a recap, reactions, a little bit of everything tonight. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm getting out of the gates here. I've got a lot of notes, a lot to talk about. And because you guys know, before we get into it, let's get to a couple super chats. We got Valar in the house. Hello, 99 Army Kills. Great mods. Channel members. PDO players, sponsors, trivia, bundle, box, burn coin. I see many of you guys that were here for the trivia a little bit early. Thank you for being involved in the trivia with your host, Little Kills, and then also with me doing the late night cap. If you guys are new to our channel or you're watching the playback, we have a lot of people that can't watch it live that watch the playback. We do our own game. We do our own trivia. We do Walking Dead content, all types of PvP. So very unique channel. If you guys have been here, we've been around for about 8 years. So gaming tutorials, analysis, a little bit of everything. So thank you guys. So the way we normally start out with our chat is we like to do a quick pulse survey just to see what the group thought about the episode. Because I always like to start with that. So I'm going to ask each of you right now, just put in chat right now. Yes, you can use decimals if you want. From a 1 to a 10, rate tonight's episode. And then I'm kind of curious of why you sort of are picking what you're picking. So we'll give you guys a few seconds to get that typed in. Tim Lamore says it's a 10. He says it is a perfect episode. Tim, you thought it was perfect? Busy 8.9. Kel 9.6. Knock knock. Who's there? Butter. Butter, get your umbrella. All right. So yeah, I mean it was a pretty good episode. So Mist an 8. Sea Kayak 8. Julie 8.7. Bones 8.8. Marsha Cooper with an 8. B Dub 8.8. Deadly Dives knows the number. 9.99. Sea Kayak, I'm going to get back to you in a second because I do agree with that. There were some things I guess you had to do, right? The Pearly story threw me off a little bit, and then I guess it'll make a little bit more sense later on. I must have missed some of that. Dr. Dye says 9 with Negan. So I'm going to give it a 9.1. I'm going to give it a 9.1. I know you guys are like, yeah, they're high numbers, but I will explain myself. I'll explain why I give it a 9.1. It's very rare to ever get a perfect 10 episode out of me. So you guys should know that. But I am rating it higher than most. We got several people, 8s, 8.9. So those of you, Harold, Sea Kayak, Marsha, some of you guys that came in at 8s, what did you feel, I guess, it was lacking that would have made it a little bit more of a 9? Or maybe even higher than a 9? Because I'm probably going to agree with you, but I didn't kind of lower the score that much because of it. You know what, Busy, Bones? I've sort of grown to accept bad CGI from The Walking Dead, so that doesn't bother me. Especially they show like a city background, and it looks like it's a tapestry on a wall. That's what I noticed. Like, that's not a city. That's a zoomed in painting. All right, so there were kind of 3 things where it is just the second episode, but if I were to say there was a slowness to the episode, we got a common theme. All right, number 1, this is probably, you know what? I think I'm gonna lower my score to an 8.9. All right, I have to lower it a little bit. Sorry. It's the teenage angst thing. I gotta lower it. I gotta lower it 0.2 of a point because Herschel is rebellious and Ginny is a runaway. We got to play another narrative than that, okay? No, Mom, it's not good. Let me throw it away. You know, right? How many times have we seen that? Can Herschel just not be like, yeah, you know, probably not my best work, Mom, but hey, I love you. Have a good night. No. Herschel is, I'm going over to Sandra's. Like, what is up with that? So we got that. I don't know. Well, why are you here? If it's like, dude, what happened, bro? Used to get millions of viewers. It's okay. Hang out and talk to us, or don't. So I didn't like that. And then I'm not as, I guess, upset about Ginny running away because I feel like there's gonna be more to that. She's treated really, really good. So there's got to be like a revenge mission or something going on with Ginny. All right. So that part of it, not as bad as the Herschel. You know, in the regret. And so what I assume they're going to do is they're leading it up to this great reunion where, you know, now that Herschel's been rebellious, Maggie's going to rescue him in episode 6, and then he's going to go hug her, and it's like, you know, I promise I'll never be a bad kid the rest of my life type of thing, right? Do you guys feel that kind of coming on? Like that's the vibe? He's going to learn his lesson. All right. Now, what's going on with Pearlie? So here's Pearlie breaking into an apartment. Did I miss that? Is that like his brother, his dad, family member? I feel like I missed like a whole chapter there. Where he grew up? Or are we going to find that later on? That he grew up in the city of New York and now he's going to be a pit fighter for the Croat, but, you know, he recognizes somebody he went to high school with. Okay. So I think that is, I'm going to say the Pearlie situation is a relative because he knew where to look. Somebody that he's been meaning to get back to and visit where he grew up. And we'll find out more of that. Right? You know, his job took him away and he wanted to get back and didn't make Thanksgiving dinner. And then he got separated from the group. And all these years he wanted to go back and visit. And then he finally did. And it's too late. But he got the gun. That's going to be my best assessment of kind of what's going on. So you got 3 things happening here. All right. Give me a 999 if you guys want. Kill shot. Bold prediction. I do it sometimes. All right. Bold prediction. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm a master predictor. I'm pretty good at this stuff. So I'm going to tell you. I'm like into the story. I am so into Dead City. Okay. Now some of these are going to be a little obvious, right? But one thing I know about Walking Dead is they like to run dual themes. Like they'll do kind of similar to the same thing. So what we've got is we've got Pearlie with regret coming back to family. And we got Herschel with regret because he didn't appreciate family. So the bigger moral of the story to Walking Dead is appreciate your family while you have them. So there's kind of that narrative going. But then number 2, all right, Ginny has not talked at all. She hasn't spoken. She's been treated nice by Negan, treated nice by the rest of this group, but she's still running away. So she's going to get herself captured, and they're planning this bigger narrative of what's next with Maggie and Negan. Once this Croat situation takes care of itself, something's going to happen with her. She's going to be in the wrong place, wrong time, and Negan's going to have to go help her out. So I think that's a future storyline. That's my prediction. All right, I'll get back to that in a second, though, because that's why I think the story's all over the place. I think that because it's a new series, you got to go like A, B, C, D, E, because that's what we want as an audience, right? We want action. We want go, kill him. But the truth is, if you go kill the Croat, like in episode number 2, then we've got no story for the future. So as much as sometimes we think the story's all over the place, the writers have a difficult challenge of they got to lead us in a certain way so we continue to tune in. So I do think that Pearlie is this. Did you guys kind of catch on this? Did this look like a blood sport thing that the Croat's running? Like he's got Pearlie and he's got fighters and they're going to put them in a pit fight? That will be cool. I think we're going to like Pearlie. I think Pearlie is going to be one of the new heroes of the show. And you know what? Hold that thought, Fred Davis, because I am going to completely disagree with you. I'm going to 100% disagree with that. I love that comment, though. So Fred Davis says, Maggie wasn't impressed with Negan because what he did to that guy was a reminder. I completely disagree. Here's what I noticed with this episode. And I wanted to talk about this because I'm excited about this. I think because when they were sitting in the bathroom together, Maggie started to get it. All right. Here's the reason, okay? Master psychologist kill shot. I'm getting in their head. I'm getting ahead of the writers. Maggie, for the first time, understands that the reason Negan killed them is because he did not know them. All right? Let that sink in for a minute. All this time, okay, I need you guys to play along. If you guys are going to play along, give me a 999. Because the only way I can make this point is to really go into a psychological example. And I need you guys to give me 100% support on this. Okay? Because I got to ask you to play 2 roles in order to really, really get it. Number 1, I want you to play the role of Maggie. Maggie, all these years, has been the pregnant wife that had to watch Negan kill Glenn in front of people. Who is this villain? How much do I hate him? Why did you do that to me? This was my family, right? That's her perspective. And that's fair, because that's who she is. Yeah, Sam, this is broadcast from my private jet. Do you want to sit around and enjoy it, or you want to leave the chat? Which one would you like to do? Would you like to ask a Walking Dead question, or would you like to be an asshat? Because you can stay or you can leave. All right. So, yeah, I'm like, you know what? Negan's back. I'm back. I'll go old school Negan. Well, you know what? If you want to talk about The Walking Dead, talk about The Walking Dead. Don't walk in and be a dick. Right? I mean, because you have a choice. You can do one or the other. Okay, so now you've got Maggie and you got Maggie's world. So look at all the stuff the writers have been trying to do to revive Negan in the eyes of the viewers. All the stuff they finally done. They finally did the right thing. It took them multiple seasons in order to do this. And it didn't sink in until they were sitting in that bathroom and Negan said, "That's not who I am. It's who I had to be in front of people." Let that resonate for a second. So now what we're hearing and what we're getting is that Negan did care about Carl. Negan did care about people. Now, you can dispute that as well. He didn't have to sleep with Dwight's wife. Okay? So I can point examples of where that's not 100% true either. But let's take out a few of those examples and say, is most of who Negan is for show? And I can say, okay, I can buy that. I'm buying it a little late. Now, in season 7, I'm not buying it. And I don't think that the writers meant for us to buy it. But now, after we've exhausted everything else, let's play in that story a little bit. So let me ask you now to not be Maggie and not be upset, and you're the outsider, and Negan had to make an example out of your people because he didn't know them. Now I'm going to ask you to be a savior. You're one of the saviors, and you're just looking for a place to live. You will tolerate a certain amount of violence because as long as you follow the rules of the sanctuary, it's not you. So here's these outsiders, Rick and group, storming you, trying to take over. Negan makes an example out of Glenn. Not saying it's right. What I'm saying is that Negan thought he had to do it at such an extreme level to make sure that nobody ever destroyed the sanctuary. Now, one could also argue, let me ask you guys this question. When the sanctuary fell, was it the power of Alexandria, or was it the growing softness of Negan and the Saviors? Or were both things happening at the same time? Was Alexandria a stronger group of fighters? And was Negan losing his will and losing his edge a little bit? So, with that happening, one could make the argument that Negan did have a softer side, which is what they played into and tapped into tonight. So, and Fred Davis, I'm going to go back to your initial comment. We saw Negan tonight when he didn't think Maggie was looking. But when Maggie was looking, I think she understood that's who he thinks he has to be. And that wasn't my husband he was killing. That was an outsider that he was killing to him. Had that been one of his friends and his close confidants, it may or may not have went down that way. That's kind of my take on it. I'm not saying it's full closure, but I do think by judging by her reaction, it wasn't like, oh my God, there you go again, you're out of control. I think it was, that's what happened when Negan loses somebody. So, let me take it one step further. I've given you the cake, I've given you the icing, and now I'm going to give you the cherry on the top. Today we saw the pigeon lady die. Negan saw somebody mourning. Negan took matters in his own hands and shoved the guy's face and then gutted him. Gutted him like he was Spencer. Why did Negan kill Glenn? Because Glenn was with a group that stormed the outpost and killed Negan's men in their sleep. So even though they were saviors, even though they were bandits, Negan thought that he needed to make an example of anybody that's ever going to kill my people. This is what happens. So now, where Maggie's had to live this nightmare over and over again when she was there, the panic because it's real, it's her family, it's her people, now maybe Maggie can get out of her family and think, well, Negan thought that he lost his family. And that's how he reacted to it. An eye for an eye. And when Negan kills, it is, obviously we saw it today, something else takes over. It's that scary, funny violence that is for impact. So here's Negan's style of killing. Okay? And let me ask you guys this question. If you're one of that group and Negan walks out, he's got your guy, he throws him over, and that guy lands, what are you going to do? You see one dude throw one dude over a balcony, and there's like 15 of you. What are you 15 going to do? You're going to storm him, and you're going to take him out. That's what you guys are going to do. You're going to say, there's 15 of us, and we're coming up those stairs, and we're going to get you. Right? That's exactly what you're going to do. Now, you see some crazy dude smash somebody's face, make a joke, does it all with a big smile on his face, like this is nothing to me, I do this every day. Make you stop and listen like, who is this guy? And then guts a guy and pours his blood all over you. You're going to be like, whoa. I don't want any part of this psycho. Let's hit the road. So, it was not just the writers letting Negan be Negan. It was the writers, for the first time, bringing closure to the Maggie confusion about who he is, what he does, and I think it also, there was something from last week where Maggie was driving Negan. See if you guys can remember this. And it was just a little banter back and forth between the two of them. And it was something like where Negan said, I could kill you. And Maggie said something like, well, you could try. Something like that, right? So Maggie's had this idea for a while, like, Negan is a worn out old man, and I will intimidate him, and when I'm ready, I will kill him, right? You guys feel that, or am I the only one thinking that? Like, Maggie has thought she has had the upper hand, and when she is ready, she will finish this dude off. Let me know if you agree with that. Because tonight, what we saw is Negan could have gutted Maggie a long, long time ago if he didn't want her to live. And I think she got that part of it too. I think she finally realizes that Negan has changed. He killed my husband not because it was my husband, but because he needed to kill this person to make an example. And he could have killed me and my family as well, but that's not who he is. And he said as much tonight, and he demonstrated it. And here's the thing. He was embarrassed that Maggie had to see that side of him. It was not an act. It was not a front for her. It was what he needed to do in that situation. Exactly. Dimes, she realizes that he will protect her and Herschel, and they do have a common enemy. And you know what, Angel? That's exactly, I could have put it in so many words. Angel just said it in one sentence. She finally saw it from the other side. She has not been able to see it from the other side. And tonight was the first time she saw it from the other side. Knowing what we know. So, yes, Harold. So here's what I would say. And you guys know the story. So, Negan loved his wife. Negan wanted kids. Negan couldn't have kids. Negan's wife dies. Does everything he can to protect her. Negan couldn't get the supplies he needed to save his wife. Negan became Negan because of that. Went in that bar and wrecked people. So then Negan decided if he's going to live in this world and he's not going to take himself out like so many people in the apocalypse have done, if he was going to create a society, the rules changed. And now it is a society based on you do what I say, when I say it, why I say it, don't question it, and you will live. And that's what he created with the sanctuary. So, he built this up. Now, absolute power corrupts absolutely, right? So, let's not pretend that Negan is a saint. He's human. I just brought up the example of Dwight. So, look, he built this thing up. He built it on fear. Why? Why did Negan want to get with everybody's wife? Now that he's got his own little harem, he's got his own little operation, why was he with all these women? He wanted kids. So now he's Henry VIII. Negan runs a sanctuary. He wants to find a woman that's going to have his kid. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that's what he turned into. Now I've got everything. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? So I do like the story. I agree, One Smash. And the only thing I can say is that the reason I think there's time skips is because we don't want a story in episode 1. So you just can't do that. So one thing that Walking Dead and other shows have done historically, especially shows have characters we know, we need to hook you in episode number 1. Now, if you start episode number 1 and you got the Blue Lagoon and sad music and Negan's wife and kid are on a boat, we're going to be like, well, that's cool. Not. You want to see, like, the marshal storming in. Where's Negan? Where's Maggie? What's going on? They going to fight, right? So I think the answer to your question is, it's the hook. You got to hook us. After you hook us, then we'll get Ginny's backstory, Negan's wife, a little bit more clarity on Herschel, Pearlie's story. So there's a lot of loose ends that need to be tied up. And that's why you got to sprinkle in a little bit of story and being all over the place. That's my thought. Yeah, the Croat story is not going to end this season. No way. So I think, we got 2 episodes, right? We'll get a little bit more and a little bit more, and we'll have a little bit more analysis in order to dig in. But I'm going to tell you. So I went from a 9.1 to an 8.9. And now that I went full circle and talked about the Negan arc, I'm going to go higher on this. I'm going to raise my score because, honestly, I think it was done brilliantly. So, we are 30 minutes in, everybody, and I could talk about The Walking Dead with you guys all night. But you know what? I want to keep it around 30 minutes. That way people, the viewers coming in, can watch a little bit of the playback. They can see that we are back. We're talking about The Walking Dead. We get theories out there. I think there's going to be more to assess, more bold predictions that we can do. Maybe we'll even do a bold prediction video. Want to invite you guys, if you guys did not, One Smash Media, a couple of you other guys that were not here for trivia. 8:15 on our channel on Sunday night, we do Walking Dead trivia. Log in at 8:10 on a Sunday night, play trivia with us, and then get in. Let's talk about it. We'll talk about the new show. We'll talk about some of the backstory. We'll see what the writers are trying to do. And I'm going to do 2 more things here. Number 1, if you guys enjoyed tonight's episode, tonight's chat, and you've changed your score, give me a score in chat right now. I'm going to raise. I went from a 9.1 to an 8.9. I'm going to raise my score even higher. So give me your final score of tonight's episode. Let me know what you think about it. I'm going 9.4, everybody. I'm going 9.4 because the more I think about it, the more I think they did a really good job. We got old school Negan. We got some really, really good Negan lines in the show. Pigeon Lady, Knock Knock, Butter. A lot of good stuff if you go back and watch it. We got a good Maggie Negan closure. The teen angst I wasn't a big fan of, but they got to push that some way or another. I didn't know that we needed a Herschel, I'm mad at mom flashback and what happened to get yourself kidnapped. I think they could have left that part out, give us a little bit more Walker action. I don't know how many times the Croat drives around looking at nets of people that are picked up. You would think that there would be more walkers that would set those net traps off than marshals named Pearlie. Yeah, but that's The Walking Dead. It was very convenient that Pearlie was in the net and Croat just happened to be out on person patrol in the nets. But I think 9.4. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So, couple things. We have a lot of fun here. So we'll be playing our own game Monday night, Wednesday night, Play Dead Live, a little bit of PvP. If you guys are Dungeons & Dragons fans, World of Warcraft fans, you like real-time PvP, join us on a Friday night. Get involved in our story. We do our own RPG. So Play Dead Live, you guys can hang out with us. We do a lot of other events. We do pet battles. We do box openings. We do trivia. We got a trivia circuit going on this channel as well. Tuesday nights and Thursday nights. Join in. It is general topic trivia. So you guys will have a lot of fun with that. And then we do Walking Dead trivia on Sunday nights. And then we also do our recap. And we'll get into some bold predictions now that we've got a little bit more story. It's too early to do bold predictions yet because we don't know all the characters. We got to get a little bit more backstory. Do me a favor. If you attended tonight's stream, give me 999s right now because I do want to shout you out and I do want to give you credit in tonight's video. So for being a part and supporting. So Busy Bee, thank you so much for being here. And then, one day you all get old and then you can say, hey, go check out 999, and I was part of that stream, and we all know each other. I see Tim Lamore. I see Amy Bones. I see Deborah Cox. C Kayak, becoming one of our regular trivia masters, C Kayak. We got our moderators, Kel, Julia, also Bones up there. We got our green team. Thank you so much for being members. Trigger, B-Dub, Deadly Dimes. Also, you guys come and play Dead Live. We'll give you your own custom avatar, and we might even give you a cool nickname as well. We got Dr. Dye in the house. Harold Evans, thank you so much. Missed OG Ninja. Marsha Cooper, great seeing you as well. So appreciate all of you guys being here. Those of you watching the playback, I know many people work. They got things going on Sunday night. If you guys are watching the playback, my question, my ask to you guys is, come and join us live. We get 500, 600, 700 people watching our playbacks. Let's get those 400, 500, 600 people in the live stream so we can jump around, do some predictions, and then ask your questions and hopefully answer a few of your questions live as well. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate all you guys, and I will see you during the week. And for Walking Dead fans, I'll see you guys next weekend. Have a good one. Peace.